guys, welcome back to my channel. So we're going to do something a little different today. I am currently preparing my famous, almost famous, sweet potato chili. So I will be cutting up as we talk about the week I just had. It was pretty eventful. I got in 4 great workouts so far, and it's only Wednesday. I've been working really hard on meal prepping, which is what I'm doing now. I plan to make a huge batch of chili. I'm learning more and more about all the crazy and awesome things that I can be eating, but not eating at the same time. For example, I really gotta lay off the vegan cookies. But apart from that, everything seems to be going pretty well. I am down a couple of pounds, so I'm pretty excited. Although it's only a couple of pounds, so hopefully a little bit more soon. Yesterday my workout was kind of crazy. I figured out that I hate the treadmill. Really hate it. I hate the treadmill. It is abominable. So I only did a mile on it yesterday. One of my fastest miles to date. However, it was only a mile. And I have 26.2 to accomplish. So I got off the treadmill and I did some weights and some equipment, and I kind of made up for it a little bit. So hopefully my next run will be, it'll be a little better. Sorry, I'm chopping up sweet potato and it's super hard for some reason. But, you know, as time goes on, as no one says. So let's talk a little bit about meal prepping. I can't make it for the week. I am not a big fan of making like that big a bulk because 1, we eventually change our minds. 2, we may not like something, so if I try something new, it's just not a great idea. So I make 3 or 4 days in advance. We did a stir fry and rice thing, which was really nice. My friend Ducky, who you will hear from in a few minutes, has some other ideas for you. But right now, I am planning on making my sweet potato chili, and it is really healthy and really fantastic, and it'll last me for at least 4 days. Because I also pair it with rice. So what I'm going to do is I've taken 2 tomatoes, 1 sweet onion, like smudged sweet potato. I'm going to have a packet of mixed veggies, like a whole packet. I've got 2 cans of black beans, 2 cans of chili beans, and I'm going to throw that in with seasoning because I'm lazy. Like, there's technically, it says there's no sugar in it, but yeah, it says no sugar, so we're good, still good. And then I'm going to cook that all up together. It is going to be fantastic and wonderful and last me forever. Well, 3 or 4 days. And I'm really, really excited because I love chili. I'm pretty sure I could live off the stuff. I've also been eating smoothies, which I'll put a picture of that at the end. I put about 8 ounces or so worth of chocolate almond milk, which could be healthier, but it's the start of my journey. I do a cup, maybe a cup and a half of frozen fruit, a banana, and some, I'm trying to think what else I put. Chia seeds in it a little bit, maybe about a teaspoonish, and maybe half a cup of oats. All in together, and I blend it with my super awesome instant pot blender. And it is super, super, super filling. I could live off of this chili and that blender forever. This morning I had some Kashi cereal, though, the vegan kind, and I threw in a banana because that seems to be my go-to, is bananas and cereal and smoothies. But could be worse, right? And I'm almost done, hang on. Okay, so all of these items are going to be going into this rather large pot. So this has to boil, and then it will simmer probably for about an hour. So one last thing before I turn it over to my friend Ducky, who's going to give you guys some fabulous ideas on how she meal preps, and she does it for her family, and she does it cheaply. I just want to let you know that these are at Walmart, and they are super awesome. So this holds quite a bit more than it looks on my camera. I usually do rice, veggies, either more rice or fruit or some kind. And that will hold us for a good meal and sometimes dinner, depending on how lazy I feel at any given time. So, that has been my week. That is my chili, and it's epic. I might put a picture of this being done. It's just that it takes like an hour, and I have a 5-year-old, so I don't have a whole lot of time to like keep making videos. So anyway, guys, it's been awesome. Thank you so much for all of your responses and your messages, and it's been fantastic. Please, if you like these videos, please hit subscribe and like, so I know what I am doing right and what I'm doing wrong. Feel free to message me at the bottom with any ideas that you guys have, or any stories that you might want to share, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye!
Hey everyone, so I'm the one that Trish calls Ducky. I've had that nickname since high school. I also go by Brittany, and that's my little awkward introduction. So, topic is meal prep. When I think of meal prep, I think of what a lot of people probably think is different containers filled with a meal for breakfast, lunch, dinner. But it doesn't have to be that way for everyone, or for it to be considered meal prep. Making enough leftovers the night before so you can have leftovers for lunch, breakfast, dinner, whatever you like to eat at any time of the day, to take to work, to school, or just to have ready when you might not feel like making a whole new meal. I don't mind making new meals every night. That's probably my downfall. I like new things all the time. I get bored with the same thing sometimes, but I have to do a little bit better, at least for myself, because I'm really the only one, depending on what it is, that likes to eat leftovers. I can make a big batch of chili or a soup or something, and it can last for a few days, and then when I get to the third or fourth day, I might, if there's enough left over, I'll put it in a container and I'll put it in the freezer for me to forget about it. But it's good to have whenever I'm like, I don't want to make anything, but I have something in the freezer I can make. Another thing that I kind of prep is different fruits for smoothies. If I buy a bunch of bananas and they're starting to go bad and I don't feel like making banana bread or muffins or whatever, I'll break them up, put them in a container, and I'll put them in the freezer for smoothies. Same thing with fresh spinach. I have a hard time keeping a lot of fresh foods in the house. Either it'll go really quick and get eaten up within the first few days, which is typical, it's ideal, but it doesn't always happen. Sometimes it gets forgotten and it goes bad, or it starts to go bad, and then whatever I can freeze or I feel comfortable freezing, I'll do that. So with spinach, it's actually a lot easier to blend from frozen after fresh to frozen and then blended. It just, I don't know, I like it that way. It blends easier for me. And it's obviously a quick addition to like tofu scrambles and stuff like that, where you just sprinkle some frozen, I mean, it breaks up, it's kind of satisfying how it breaks up like shattered glass, kind of ice crystals, I don't know. But you sprinkle it into a meal and you have spinach added to your meal, and it's pretty quick that way. Also, so aside from fruits, sometimes I'll make a batch of rice and beans. I know that sounds boring, but honestly, my family loves chickpeas. That's like their favorite bean at the moment. And I actually, right now, I have a rice cooker, and I will throw in uncooked rice, the amount of water needed, and then a can of chickpeas, rinsed and drained, and I'll add it in. And then when it's cooked, I'll sometimes add in different spices to flavor it up, or I'll use veggie broth to cook it in the rice cooker. And then I just add, like, honestly, it's like the laziest, carby, very beige meal. I'll throw on some vegan butter, nutritional yeast, which is quite available nowadays. I've seen it in Walmart. I think it's down the baking aisle near some of the flowers. There's, I don't even know about other stores, but Walmart's the one that comes to mind. There's a local store that I buy it in a big bag, and I do it that way, but I sprinkle nutritional yeast. I have vegan butter, salt, pepper, or instead of salt, I'll do garlic salt or garlic powder, and I think that's pretty much all that I add on there, and it is so good. Everybody loves it. And it's basic, it's simple, it's a side dish, or you can make it a main dish. It's just something filling and cozy. Sometimes I add in garam masala spice, and that really helps flavor it up different. And it's actually really good that way too. Sometimes I'll throw in like air fried potatoes. I'll chop up potatoes and get them a little crispy. I'll coat it in the same kind of spices, toss those in. I've even made tacos out of it. Just throw it all in a tortilla and call it a meal, honestly. Other meal prep things really is just, if you're going to make rice or beans or something like a grain part of your meal, just make a little extra and then you can add it to other things. I'm going to be making a few things soon. I will be back when I do, and I will show you what I come up with, and we'll talk other things soon. See ya!